Well, hello. This is my video for today, and I got to thinking about how much that I just appreciate and love the things that my wife does, and how that has made our life so much better, has avoided so much chaos, and has even brought us back at times from the brink. And I think she completely deserves that I brag on her a little bit, but I also think that what I say could be useful to some people, that maybe they could use some tips on what they could do to help their household. And that's not meant to be a comparison, because I think everybody knows something that somebody else doesn't know. And just like we could learn things from others, it would be my hope that maybe somebody could pick up something that we would have to offer as well. And I think I could say that one of the most important things that my wife does that really makes life so much better, and I see this problem in a lot of families out there that don't do this. You see, in our house, me with Asperger's and stuff, I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I have to control the finances. It's no if, and, or but about it, because if not, I will stress about it a little too much. So I have to make sure that everything's paid way in advance. I have a massive schedule that I write it all out on, and so, needless to say, I'm in charge of the finances. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a lady in charge of the finances. If she's better at it, delegate the authority to your wife, and that'd be great. But what my wife does is that she takes the time to call and respects that first, and then every time she thinks to spend money, she calls and asks, "Do we have the money for that? Is it okay if I spend the money for that?" And of course, as the husband, that calms my nerves, makes sure that the bills get paid. And don't think that we don't discuss it. We do. We try to discuss where the money's going to go as often as possible, and I try to provide as much freedom as possible, especially with the tight budget and the little bit of money that we make. And so I've seen families where maybe neither person is in charge of the finances, or perhaps maybe one person is in charge and the other one just doesn't consult the other and spends money, and they're always bouncing checks, and their credit's shot, and life's just a disaster. And honestly, ladies that might be listening to this is a wonderful example of a way to submit to your husband. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have the authority. If your husband gives you the authority to be the person who pays the bills and takes care of these things, but in our family, I do that, and she submits to that, and that to me is just a wonderful thing. And in other areas of life, my second point is that she gives me the final say, and I really feel respected because of that. I have confidence that if the kids wanted to go do something and she gave them permission initially, but then I stepped in and said, "Honey, I really don't think that's a good idea. That shouldn't happen." That she would, I feel confident that she would respect that. Now, of course, I strive to listen to what she says, and to work out the details, or to listen to the details and try to understand the situation and not just make a hasty judgment. And of course, we all make mistakes in that area, but it gives me a lot of peace to know that at the end of the day, if if a call has to be made, I can make that call in our house. The third thing, and what I think is the most important, is that um, she has a very gracious and forgiving spirit. This is unconditional love, which I think is very Christ-like in nature, and it's something that honestly I strive to look up to. That's something that she can do that I am still not there, and the fact that when things don't go right, even when things are tough in her life, even when I fail or make mistakes or do wrong, she is forgiving, loving, and works very hard to find the help, mend the situation, and spends the time praying and seeking God for the answers. And that has made a huge difference. And I feel like the times where we've gone astray and erred, that it has been hugely to her credit that things have been repaired and fixed. And let's see. Now, I believe, of course, in our family, and the way it should be according to the Bible, is that the husband and the wife are equals. Because she does these things, it doesn't mean that I feel like I'm bigger than her. Although when I didn't understand and came out of that crazy cult of a school that I went to, I did think of myself more highly than I should have, and was mean and arrogant towards her, and yet somehow she was able to bring me around. Of course, God had a lot to do with it, but I think because of her prayers and her talking to God, God used her and softened my heart to understand. So I believe that we're equals, but she doesn't usurp that authority. You know, the Bible talks about how the woman should not usurp. It means not to overthrow. It means not to do a hostile takeover. And she doesn't do that. She doesn't have any hostile takeovers in our family, and it makes a big difference. And the last thing, when when there's a gap, when either financially or maybe something in the family is missing, when it's necessary, she helps fill roles that she wouldn't normally want to do. For many years, I worked 2, 3, 4 jobs, 6, 7 days a week, trying my best to be the sole provider, but I just got too old for it, too much pain in the back. Mentally, I was losing it because of just no sleep and just all the stress. And it just came down to the point where I said, I just can't do this anymore. And she stepped up and has been working one job since. I still work my job, but just one job now. And then she works one job, and yeah, money's tight. We don't make much, but we never have, and we do well. We do good enough. God is always taking care of us. He gives us the wisdom, and with a lot of organization, and with prayer, and occasionally we get in tight spots and people help, but I feel like we do a great job. A lot of people marvel. They say, how can you have everything that you have on such a small income? And that is to her credit and to the glory of God and to the wisdom and blessings that He gives. So anyway, hopefully this helps somebody out there. Remember, it's not a comparison. You have something to offer us, I'm sure. Feel free to offer it in the comments below. And hope to make more videos soon. And talk to you later.